Okie dokie. So, Rangatology. He asks, with your Guardian superhero character, plus or and the success of Quijibo and Harold, have you considered a Nordic Viking character, giving your interest in the culture for any upcoming projects? From Rangatology. Okay, that's a really cool question. Thank you for submitting yet another question. It's awesome. Really appreciate it. And if anyone else wants to submit one too, I'll keep a record. Just tag myself on socials or leave a comment with a hashtag AskCharmed and I'll find it and keep a record and we'll get to you. But thank you, Rangatology. So, yeah, look, I'm actually looking forward to moving on and working on Guardian of Honor and finally getting that happening. I'm glad you think Quijibo and Harold is successful. I do. I think so, considering that I have a very small footprint online and considering other creators on there. And the fact that I've been able to sell as many copies as I have already, I'm considering it a success. Like I keep saying, I like to keep myself pretty humble and in check. I always say if at least one person has been interested enough to pick up anything that I do, let alone put down money for it, to me that's a success, right? I don't have, I'm not ungrateful is what I'm trying to say. Like I don't dream, or I do dream big, but I keep my expectations real. Excuse me while I take a sip. Haven't been sleeping much with all the noise going around the cyclone, so bear with me here. Yeah, look, I have considered doing something Nordic related, or just Viking-ish or Viking related. I do really enjoy the culture. I think it's awesome, and it does harken back to my family's heritage and all that stuff. So, look, I'm not going to lie. Some of my Guardian of Honor stuff, there's some like Nordic influence in there as far as like sociology or, you know, how people interact with each other or the world. And no, it's not like Asgard and that kind of stuff. I just like some of the principles, some of the lifestyle and that culture aspects to include into the story. So it's not just Earth. Like well, for one, they're not based on Earth in that story. It's a planet called Honor. That's why it's called Guardian of Honor. Like he's the guardian of that planet. So it is another world, and I've got freedom to make it how I want, right? Yes, I can try and make it relatable. You know, we are Earthlings, humans. We do speak English and, well, many languages, but for the most part, like if you've read a comic book that's set on another planet, or if you've read a book or a novel or a movie, watched a movie that's set on another planet, there are liberties taken, right, to make it accessible and consumable. You know, where everybody speaks English, or you know, everybody has an American sense of humor, which I can't stand that. It's what bugs me about some of these Marvel movies and that, where the universe is vast and you go and visit different planets and different characters, but everybody's got this American quip, and I hate it. Anyway, takes me right out of it. Just like EA games and Ubisoft games, they've all got this American quip about every character, and it's so insufferable. Anyway, so needless to say, I'm not going to be doing that, right? But yeah, some of the culture stuff and sensibilities, and you know, maybe some of what some would consider barbaric or violent aspects of the culture. You know, I'm going to try and introduce some of that into the world of Honor, right? It's fantasy, sci-fi. You know, I can do what I like, really. So yeah, I'm going to try and do that. And I'm going to set up my own kind of runes, right, for language. I'm going to try anyway, because I want to build out the world, right? And it's not that difficult to build out your own alphabet, right? It's not. You just have to stick with it, right? And create your own lexicon, and you know, if you want to use that, right? So when you're looking at the world, or if I'm drawing like a place that is a sign or whatever signage, I'm going to be trying to use my own kind of runes or language like that, right? It just give it that extra flair, give it that otherworldly feel where everything looks different. It's not English. Like I'm not going to do that. Set another planet, and if I have a billboard or something or a sign or a written text or whatever, and it just be English, I'm not going to do that. So that's been fun trying to develop that kind of stuff, and it'll be cool to see. Hey, if once I finally put this book out, I can put in the back of it, right, the alphabet, like the matrix that you can use. So if you want to go back and like look at some things on pages, and you can figure out what has actually been said on some signage or papers or whatever, like HUD displays and all that kind of stuff. I think that'll be fun. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question. Like, yes, I do intend, and I have considered, and I will be doing that, and probably not just there too. I just really enjoy that stuff, and if I can, I'm not gonna spoil some things, but there's some things in Kuijibo and Harold book 2 that I'm going to introduce some of that in there too. All right. Because I think it's fun, and I've already written that part and introduced a couple of characters that way. So, yeah, looking forward to that. So anyway, it's just part of who I am and what I feel is right. And, part of being creative and putting yourself out there, there's a difference from self-insertion, which a lot of creators are doing in Marvel and DC these days. And when it's so blatant, I just can't be bothered to read it, right? But there's such a thing as interpreting oneself into the story you're trying to tell. That's different, right? Because everything that you do creatively, whether it's speaking or writing or drawing or art, whatever it is, it's from you, right? So you almost can't help, right? But put some of yourself in it. Even if you're writing another story that's maybe alien to you, right? You're still writing it from a perspective of how your understanding is, right, of that situation, or how you might deal with certain things, or your considerations, your ideas, your translation of scenarios feeds into whatever story that you're reading. Whether people like to say that's true or not, right? That's just how I see it. Someone might tell me, well, if you're writing on the behalf through the eyes of another character, that's great. You can do that. You can put yourself in someone else's shoes, but you're still coming from your own perspective on some situations, right? You can't get away from that, right? So I don't feel bad in putting some of myself in my things, right, in my creations and my projects, because it's mine and it's part of me and it's what I'm putting out there, and hopefully people enjoy it. So anyway. Yeah, so look forward to that. So Guardian of Honor is going to be my next thing off the book. Off the books, I should say. Once I've finished animating Kuijibo and Harold book 1, I'm about halfway through. It's just finding the time between day job and life stuff and actually having enough energy left to finish it in my days and my weekends. Yeah, so I'm about halfway done that now. And once I've finished animating that, I'll start on book 2 of Kuijibo and Harold and put that out, and probably animate that as well, and then get stuck onto Guardian of Honor as my next big thing, and take a bit of a break from Kuijibo and Harold and get into something a bit more meaty. I'm really loving just being in the Kuijibo and Harold world. It's fun. It's just freedom to create whatever, not, whether it makes sense or not. It's just fun. And these silly characters and silly situations. And book 2, definitely, it's coming along well. I'm building out the world a bit, adding a bit of lore and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. Anyway, thanks, mate. Thanks for your question. If you want to submit another one, go for it, mate. But yeah, if people are still sticking around, if you want to submit, just to remind you, if you want to submit a question, just tag me on socials and hashtag AskChunt, or leave a comment below the video with a hashtag AskChunt, and I'll file that away, and then we'll come around. So excellent. All right, so what I want to get into next is, I'm keeping it easy for this one. I'm just chilling this one because I don't know when I'm going to lose power, but I just want to talk about what I've been playing lately and what I've been doing. And there's some toy reveals, toy fair has been happening, and I want to talk about some of that. So yeah, let's just keep it chill and hook right in, yeah?